What's good, sports fans? Are you ready to elevate your live entertainment experience? Well, let me introduce you to SeatGeek, an amazing platform that connects you to your favorite events while saving you money. With SeatGeek, you can easily find tickets for sports games, concerts, and so much more, all in one place. The interface is user-friendly, making it simple to browse and compare prices. And one of the best features is the interactive seating chart. You can see exactly where you'll be sitting and how much you'll be spending, ensuring you get the best value for your money. But here's the best part. Check this out. By using my promo code, ChalkItUpSports, you can enjoy a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. That's right, $20 off your first SeatGeek order. Imagine catching that thrilling game or concert without breaking the bank. It's a win-win situation. Plus, you'll be a part of a community of fans who eat, sleep, and breathe live events just as much as you do. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description to download the SeatGeek app today. And don't forget to use my promo code ChalkItUpSports for a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. Get excited. Now let's get back to the show. What it is, what's good? This is your boy, Tone DeShields. The second you guys are locked in on your dose of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. This channel don't move without the people. This channel is not possible without the people. Now, I would be doing this anyway. I love doing what I do, even if I was speaking into the ether, if I was speaking into dust, if I was just speaking into the galaxies. I'm still going to talk my ish when it comes to this sports stuff because I love it. I love it. Never played the game on any high level, but I love it. And you talk about what you love. You feel what I'm saying? So make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. You feel me? My man Trenton said he playing Mad right now. Okay, bro. I like it. I may have to cop that new Madden and that new college football. I know college football just dropped, I think today, right? Or was it yesterday? I can't remember. But nonetheless, I digress. Make sure you guys stay active, stay engaged in the content. We got some things to talk about. We're going to be here for about 45 minutes to an hour, so you guys know how we do things here. Kick your feet up, get comfortable. If it's your day off, enjoy it. If you got the kids right now, enjoy them. Do the best you can and try to do 2, 3, 4, 5 things at once. If you're at the job right now, hey, be safe. Make sure the boss not looking over your shoulder. If you're on your lunch break right now, hey, what you eating? What you snacking on? If you're in the truck right now, if you're in the van, if you're in the car, if you're making deliveries, if you're doing pickups, if you're doing drop-offs, hey, be safe on them roads, y'all. I appreciate y'all, man. Shout out to all my custodians. Shout out to all my laborers. Shout out to all my blue-collar workers. Shout out to the white-collar workers, man. Shout out to all my postal service workers, man. You know what I mean? Shout out to all my aspiring music artists. Shout out to all my aspiring actors and actresses. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to all my people getting it, how they live. Shout out to your neighborhood drug dealer. Sorry, I'm playing. Let me stop. All right, so look, we got some things to get into, y'all. I want to talk to you guys about training camp, man. Training camp is fast approaching. We're only about 6 days away. 6 days away from training camp, man. Everybody's, I'm sure, is pretty much getting to the city over the course of the next 6 days, man. Guys are settling in. You know, guys are literally trying to turn the page on the next season. The Philadelphia Eagles get their Super Bowl rings on Friday. I think the ceremony will be going on over the course of the weekend. Guys will be in town for training camp as well, so it's actually perfect timing. So that's going to be exciting as well. Can't wait to see what those look like. Those guys deserve it. They should have got their they should have got their rings well over a month ago. And I have a conspiracy theory, but I'm not even going to get into that. It is what it is, man. Shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles. Shout out to them. And also, shout out to my people who are in school right now. Shout out to my people who are in school, about to start school, getting your undergrad, getting your master's, you in high school, getting your doctorate, whatever it is, getting your trade school licenses and certifications. Shout out to y'all too. Shout out to y'all too. My plumbers, my electricians, my HVAC workers, my contractors, my carpenters. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to y'all too, man. Shout out to y'all too. So yeah, training camp. I woke up this morning, and sometimes, you know, I don't always have the topics that I want to talk about that night. That's why sometimes the streams get set up the day of. Like sometimes I like to sleep on things and just wake up and try to take on a fresh thought. And my process goes as I just kind of talk about what comes, you know, what suits me, what comes to my mind. And training camp has been on my mind, right? And to take it a step further, I've been thinking about the amount of pressure that is going to be on the Philadelphia Eagles as they enter training camp. The preseason rolls around, the regular season, right? I've just been thinking about what it will be like. What does it feel like to accomplish the ultimate task, the ultimate objective in your field? And then people expect you to do it again the following year. When there's a lot of competition, when there's a lot of people who are just as skilled as you, or maybe not as skilled as you, but everybody got a shot, right? Anything can happen. Setbacks can happen, whatever it may be. I just try to put myself in those players' shoes. What kind of pressure would they be under to do what they did last year, or at least accomplish the same goal, but maybe go about it a different way? Because the entire league is looking at you. The entire league is already kind of waiting for you to fumble the bag. You feel what I'm saying? Like, even the way the Eagles players get talked about, their top players, even the way they get talked about in media circles, you know, they call us a super team, but they don't give credit to the sum of our parts, the proper due respect to the sum of our parts. Nonetheless, regardless of what these lists say, what these prognosticators, what these analysts or pundits say in sports, it's all about the results. It's all about putting the work in day by day, focusing on today, not focusing on yesterday, not focusing on tomorrow, focusing on today, focusing on where your feet are. And I think the Philadelphia Eagles are in prime position to focus on where their feet are. And I think that starts from the top down, right? Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie, although they're always ready for anything to happen, they tend to put all their chips on the table every single season. And they're so smart, they're so intelligent, they're so astute at their crafts. They know how to prepare for the following day and the days after that, while also focusing on the day of. And then you get the Nick Sirianni, a guy who knows how to send a message, who knows how to set the tone in the room. Regardless of how you feel about him, you got to respect that gangster. You got to respect the results. I don't care what you feel personally in your heart. I don't care what your cup of tea is. I don't care what's your favorite flavor. I don't care about none of that. Respect the results. Respect the culture he's established and maintained. Respect the grind. Kiss the fucking ring. And then you get the Jalen Hurts and the other guys, man. They're so good at focusing on where they are. Jalen Hurts said something, and I think he did some content with the Eagles, and he said on the tongue of his shoes, all his cleats, on the tongue it says, "Be you, Jay Hurts," something like that. "Be you, Jay Hurts," or "Be yourself, Jay Hurts." That's all you need. It's a way for him to recalibrate. It's a way for him to stay grounded. It's a way for him to just stay in the moment and not try to be something he's not try to do too much. Try to do just enough. Do exactly what's required. And that's why Jalen Hurts is so successful, because he does exactly what's required. He gives you exactly what you need, especially when you need it. So then we get the training camp now. Who's going to step up and give the Eagles what they need when they need it? Who's going to step up? Because the guys that were on the roster in 2024 and beyond, guys that are on that Super Bowl team, they did it already, right? But even you had some guys like AJ Brown and Devontae Smith say, "Hey, we care more about the journey than the actual destination." And that's what you want to hear from your star guys. Mentalities like that trickle down. Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon, Barkley, they've already flushed. They've already flushed the Super Bowl. That's why I think it's unfortunate that they're just getting their rings, because now it kind of revitalizes those old feelings. But I think the Eagles are so well led that I think them getting their rings this Friday, it's just going to be another day at the office. You're going to celebrate. You're going to enjoy each other. You're going to have the ceremony. Then you go home. All right, back to work. Training camp starts on the 22nd. Let's not waste no time here. So, guys that have already been on the roster, they've been there, they've done that, but they know they got to do it again. They know it's all about maintaining and sustaining. But now you got new guys coming in, right? You got new guys coming in, and I'm going to get to all your comments, by the way. I really do appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. You guys have been phenomenal here. Shout out to Humble Servant, Jameer Adams, Tiffany Dark Chocolate Page, Little G Griffith, Alex, with my man at Trenton Wright, Joshua Mullins, Big Dog 5215, Function, Miss Fanny, the Eagles fan, Doomsday Corner. You know what I mean? Shout out to y'all, Chaotic, Sips T. Appreciate y'all, man. Zay, what's good? I appreciate y'all liking on the content. Beyond Levels, thank you for being here. So, you get to the guys that are new. You get to the 2025 draft class. You get to the undrafted class, right? You think about the free agent additions. And you say to yourself, you guys have a prime opportunity here. You've been ingratiated into a beautiful situation. A beautiful situation. The Eagles have one of the youngest defenses in football. You got a lot of young guys on that side of the ball. You got younger at some key positions. So there is going to be some pressure to step up in a real way. And again, focus on the task at hand. Focus on today. I know we like to foreshadow a lot. We like to foreshadow what we think this guy is going to do and what that guy is going to do, right? I do it myself. It's fun. You know what I mean? But I think in order for these players, in order for the city to get the best out of these players, I think it's going to be so important for these young guys, these free agents, to build it brick by brick, cobblestone by cobblestone, cinder block by cinder block, stone by stone. They had to lay the groundwork. They had to lay the foundation so they can have a successful season. They got to focus on their bodies, try to stay healthy. Nutrition is important, conditioning, strength. There's so much nuance, so many details that go into this game that we love. And sometimes it's easy to overlook because we're spectators. We enjoy the game. You got some psychos like myself who tune into everything the Eagles do. Rain, sleet, or snow, we all train to go, right? And you got some fans who just tune in during the season. They they kind of unplugged in the offseason, right? They watch the draft, they watch, they keep up with free agency a little bit, but you got guys coming into this building now. Some names we know, some names we don't know, some big names, some not so big names. There may be some guys who shock you. There's going to be some guys who shock us this training camp. Who's going to be the unsung hero? Who's going to be the training camp darling? Who's going to be somebody that we didn't anticipate to have the season that we thought? Remember, 2024, they brought in Zack Baun. They brought in Mekhi Becton. They brought back CJ. They drafted Quinyon and Coop, Jalix Hunt, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. You feel what I'm saying? Will Shipley. Who else they brought in? They brought in Isaiah Rodgers. Well, he was already on the roster, but you know what I mean. He was suspended, so he was brought in. Who else? They brought in Vic Fangio, of course. Kellen Moore was brought in at OC. Like, they traded for Jihaad Dotson. You feel what I'm saying? They brought in Oren Burks. And you think about all those names I mentioned, obviously Devin White didn't pan out, but primarily all those names I mentioned, they made a significant contribution in some shape, way, or form. So now you look at the current crop of guys that have been brought in, right? Let's revisit the draft class. Let's revisit the draft class. Jihaad Campbell in the first round, linebacker. Andrew Makuba, second round, safety. Ty Robinson, fourth round, D tackle. Matt McWilliams, cornerback, fifth round. Smile Mondon, linebacker, fifth round. Drew Kendall, interior offensive lineman, fifth round. Kyle McCord, quarterback, sixth round. Miles Hinton, offensive tackle, sixth round. Cameron Williams, offensive tackle, sixth round. And edge rusher, Antoine Powell-Ryland, sixth round. They brought in some good talent at some very interesting positions, right? Then you get to the undrafted free agents. Right? At running back, they brought in Montrell Johnson Jr. out of Florida and Shunderick Powell out of Central Arkansas. At wide receiver, they brought in Taylor Morin out of Wake Forest, Darius Cooper out of Tarleton State, and Giles Jackson out of Washington. At the offensive line, they brought in Holland Pierce at tackle out of Rutgers and Marcus Tate out of Clemson at guard. At DB, they brought in Maxon Hook at safety out of Toledo, who played with Quinyon Mitchell. They brought in Brandon Johnson out of Oregon, who can play the nickel, who can play safety as well. They brought in BJ Mays, cornerback out of Texas A&M. And that linebacker, they brought in Lance Dixon out of Toledo as well. The Philadelphia Eagles brought in 2 players out of Toledo. So, just staying on that for a second, they saw what they got out of Quinyon. And like most people do, if you strike gold or if you strike oil in one area, you're going to try your best to dig a little bit more in that select area. Quinyon Mitchell was a success story. Maybe they got some more gems. Maybe they got some more diamonds in the rough. Let's find out. Let's bring them in as undrafted free agents and see what they bring us, see what they give. It won't hurt. Won't hurt at all. And then you get to the free agent additions. You think about the free agent additions, right? We're so far removed from free agency, but let's just recap that. They brought in edge rusher Patrick Johnson, who was actually drafted by the Eagles, but they brought him back. He's 27 years old. They brought in wide receiver / kick returner, punt returner Avery Williams, who's 26. They brought in long snapper Charlie Hewlett out of who's 34 years old. They brought in 2 tight ends, Kylan Granson, and Harrison Bryant, who are both tight ends, who are both 26 years old. They brought in offensive lineman, Matt Pryor, veteran. We're very familiar with him. They brought in Kendall Lamb, another veteran, who's been someone who's been an interesting listen whenever he speaks. They brought in Quinyon Green via trade, who's 24 years old. They signed running back A.J. Dillon, who's 26. Cornerback Adoree Jackson, who's 29. He'll be 30 pretty soon. They brought in edge rushers, Azeez Ojulari, who's 24. Josh Uche, who's 26. Right? And I look at some of them names, and I have a few guys from free agency who I think are going to make an impact, right? And that's what I want to get into with you guys, right? Because again, I think Eagles training camp is going to be brutal in a good way. In a good way. Let me make sure I make that very clear to you guys. I think Eagles training camp is going to be brutal because they won the Super Bowl, right? I know the natural thought is, hey, you won the Super Bowl, don't get complacent, don't get soft, right? Or, hey, they won the Super Bowl, they don't have anything to prove. I understand why you would think that. Don't get me wrong. Jalen Hurts winning the Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles, like that whole team, all those guys becoming new Super Bowl champions. You had some guys on the team who added their second Super Bowl to their resume, like BG and Lane Johnson, and right, Jake Elliott. But a lot of those guys, it was their first ring. A lot of those guys, it was their first ring. So I know the natural thought is, hey, you won, you ain't got nothing to prove. Every year you got something to prove. You know why? Because every year is somebody trying to take your head off. Every year is somebody trying to take your spot. And when you're the champion, when you're at the top of the mountain, they be wanting that smoke. When you're at the top of the mountain and they feel like it should have been them, ooh, that's a dangerous place to be. That's a dangerous person to deal with. Someone who believes they should have had what you had. Someone who believes they deserve what you earned. You got to watch out for those kind of people. Those people are dangerous. Very dangerous. So I say all that to say, I do think Eagles training camp is going to be something of a spectacle. It's going to be box office. It's going to be competitive. I also think the NFC East is going to be a part of Hard Knocks, right? I think the NFC East is going to be a part of Hard Knocks. Am I correct when I say that? And I'm not exactly sure what they're going to be documenting. Are they going to be documenting training camp? Are they going to be documenting the first half of the season? Whatever it may be. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to be documenting. I'm going to watch it, by the way, but I just think being the Super Bowl champion, excuse me, being the Super Bowl champion, it comes with a new set of expectations you never felt before. Excuse me, you guys. And I think Nick Sirianni is going to work these guys. I think Nick Sirianni is going to work these guys, man. I think Vic Fangio, Kevin Patullo, Clint Hurt, Jeremiah Washburn, Bobby King, Christian Parker, Roy Anderson, Joe Casper, Aaron Moorhead, Jeff Stoutland, Jamal Singleton. I think all those coaches, I think they're going to work those guys. I really, really do. I think they're going to remind them, hey, that Super Bowl don't mean shit. It don't mean nothing. We got something to prove every week. We got something to prove every day. Your job. Hey, I don't care. Vic Fangio said all the time, I don't care how much you make. If you can't play, you won't play. I don't care where you was drafted. If you can't fill the gaps, if you can't hold the edge, if I can't trust you, you're not playing. So I'm curious to know from you. I'm curious to know. Give me one person who you believe is going to have a spectacular training camp that will translate to the regular season. Give me one person. And to make it easy, give me one draft pick and give me one free agent. One draft pick and one free agent. Those two players. Who do you think is going to make a name for himself in training camp and it will translate to the regular season? One draft pick and one free agent. MJS says Ty Robinson and Azeez Ojulari. I love those selections. I love those selections because I think Ty Robinson is in a phenomenal situation right now. I think Ty Robinson is in a phenomenal situation playing with Jalen Carter, playing with Jordan Davis, Moro Jomo. That four-man rotation is going to go crazy this year. And, I found this out that the Philadelphia Eagles, when it came to run defense, the Philadelphia Eagles had sent out the most light boxes in 2024. When I say light, I mean it's just your typical four-man box, four-man, five-man box at the most. The Eagles led the league in sending out the most light boxes, but they were top 10 in run defense. That speaks volumes about what Jordan Davis was doing, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Jalen Hunt, Moro Jomo, Milton Williams. That speaks volumes about those guys to control the line of scrimmage, even when they're outnumbered. Even when they're not winning the math equation. To be able to be a top 10 run team and you sent out the most light boxes, you add Ty Robinson to that. Woo. And Azeez Ojulari, I'm really excited about Azeez. I am super excited about Azeez. I think Azeez Ojulari is going to go crazy this year. I just got this feeling. Azeez is going to give us between 6 to 9 sacks. That's what I think. Between 6 to 9, maybe 7 to 10. That's what I think. I think Azeez Ojulari, who's 20, he's only 24 years old. He's 24 years old. There's so much tread left on those tires. What else y'all got? Let me see. Ooh, King DV Sports. He said Uche and Makuba. See, here's the funny thing. I like the Makuba pick. Here's my thing about Uche, right? He's 26. He's not old, but he's not old at all. But I don't know. I feel like I'm higher on Azeez Ojulari than I am Uche. Like, by the way, there's no guarantee Uche makes this roster. There's no guarantee. Because right now, I look at the depth chart and I look at the edge rushers. I see Nolan Smith, Jalen Hunt, Azeez Ojulari, Josh Uche, Patrick Johnson, Antoine Powell-Ryland, O'Shawn Mathis, KJ Henry. I mean, Antoine Powell-Ryland can push Uche. Because here's my thing. I believe Azeez Ojulari has shown a more consistent ability to produce in spite of the injuries. Whereas the Uche, he had that one season and he's kind of just been mediocre like every other year from a sack perspective. Right? So Obviously, Nolan and Jalen make the roster, but I think Aziz obviously makes the roster. I think Antoine Powell-Ryland pushes Uche. That's what I think. That may be a hot take, but I think APR can give Uche a run for his money. And then Makuba, he has big shoes to fill. Let's call that what it is right now. Makuba has big shoes to fill. You traded Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. So now it's going to be Reed Blankenship and Andrew Makuba back there, or it may be Sidney Brown, or it may be Tristan McCullum. That's the thing, right? I think the Eagles have more talent at safety than than people think. I know that may seem like a medium hot take. I know some people still believe that they should go out and get what's my man name? The safety that everybody want to go get. Forget my guy name. Let me check spot right. The free agents. What's my man name? Let's see. Simmons, Justin Simmons. Justin Simmons, that's what it is. Thank you. That's what he is. Thank you. I know a lot of people want them to go get Justin Simmons. Like, and look, he's a great player, talented player. I'm actually surprised he hasn't been signed yet, but I think he's also just waiting. I don't think he wants to go through training camp. That's what I think. I don't think Justin Simmons wants to go through training camp. He's been playing the game so long. But I actually think, and this may be overzealous, you may think this is wishful thinking. I think the Eagles are more talented at safety than people think. I think Sidney Brown and Tristan McCullum take a step forward this year. And Andrew Makuba, we'll see what he'll be able to bring to the table, right? And if I had to put my money on the table and bet, I think Makuba is going to be the starter next to Blankenship. That's what I think. But we'll see, though. Again, my Uche position is I think APR pushes Uche. That's what I think. All right, let's see. Anthony Jett says Ringo, Aziz, and Mac McWilliams. Interesting. Mac McWilliams is that's an interesting selection. He's kind of been flying under the radar. Now, Matt McWilliams, he's not from a measurable standpoint, he's not the most domineering. I mean, he's not a big guy, right? Ringo has him beat in the measurables department, and Ringo was just a better athlete than Matt McWilliams. He's just a better athlete. But it will be interesting, though. I think I've seen someone say they would like to have more cornerback depth. And I'm looking at the Eagles cornerbacks right now. I'm seeing Keely Ringo, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Adoree Jackson, Eli Ricks, Perry Nickerson, who's actually the oldest guy on the team. You have Tyreek Castro-Fields, AJ Woods, Matt McWilliams. You got BJ Mays and Brandon Johnson. So, I mean, that's a lot of bodies. You got a lot of bodies there. Whether or not you like them talent-wise is another question, but they have a lot of bodies there. They got a lot of bodies for sure. But I think Keely Ringo, another guy who I think takes a step that some people aren't anticipating, right? And look, for the Eagles to not even be aggressive in the free agent market when it comes to corner, you see, you got to pay attention to their decisions. You got to pay attention to their moves, right? Of course, their moves account for the financial constraints and the cap space, whatever it may be. But if the Eagles were truly, truly uncomfortable with Keely Ringo I think they would have made a move by now. They brought in Adoree Jackson, a veteran, cost-effective, 1-year vet minimum, I believe. You draft Matt McWilliams. I mean, those guys are maybe the most direct of competition. Maybe Eli Ricks pushes, but I think Kelee Ringo has a better season, has a better training camp than we anticipate. I think Kelee Ringo takes a big step forward. All right, let's see what else we got here. Who else you guys are talking about? All right. KGK says Trot Jr., Jihaad Campbell, and Matt Pryor. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is in a precarious situation. By the way, you guys, make sure you smash that like button. We got over 80 people on the stream. We only got 45 likes. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I really do appreciate the support. It really helps, man. Really helps. So make sure you guys, when you come in, hit that like button. But Trot Jr. he's in a funny spot because his position is stacked right now. His position is crowded. Crowded. You got Nakobe Dean, obviously, who's recovering from a patella tear. You got Jihaad Campbell, who is the darling right now, the belle of the ball, who's recovering, who's rehabbing from a shoulder. But him and Makuba have been working out. Like, I think they were working out in Jersey or something like that, putting some work in. Jihaad Campbell is probably arguably one of your most talented linebackers. If I had to rank the linebackers just strictly off talent and upside, I think, oh man, this is a fun conversation now. If I had to rank the Eagles linebackers, and the criteria was talent and upside, I would have to say Jihaad Campbell 1. As a matter of fact, I want y'all to do it. And I'll give you mine as we do this. I want you guys to rank the top 5 Eagles linebackers based on this criteria: talent and upside. That's what I want you guys to do. Rank the Eagles linebackers, the middle linebackers, obviously. Rank the linebackers based on talent and upside. All right, so we got our first one here. By the way, before I read this one, let me tell you mine. Mine is Jihaad Campbell, Zack Baun, Nakobe Dean, Trot Jr., Smile Monda. Campbell, Baun, Dean, Trot, Smile Monda. All right, let me see what we got here. All right. Sweet Chin Music has Jihaad number 1, Zack Baun number 2, Smile Monda 3, Nakobe 4, Trot 5. Interesting. MJS says Baun 1, Campbell 2, Dean 3, Trot 4, Mondan 5. So we just have MJS, you and I just have Campbell and Baun swapped. Anthony Jett says 1, Campbell, 2, Dean, 3, Baun, 4, Mondan, 5, Trot. Interesting. The first person to put Baun at 3. Interesting. And remember, the criteria is talent and upside. Big Dog 5 says Jihaad, the Bald Eagle, Mondan, Nakobe, Trot. Interesting. My first person I seen put Mondon at 3. All right. Skeptic Form says Jihaad Campbell 1, Zack Baun 2, Dean 3, Mondon 4, Trot 5. Okay, so we're similar. We just have Trot and Mondon swapped. All right, let's see. KGK says Baun, Campbell, Trot, Mondon, Dean. He also says Dean is what he is at this point. The rest is just getting started. Interesting. Interesting take. Interesting take. Granted, Nakobe, his development has always been offset by injuries. He's always been having to recover from something. So that's a very interesting take. MJS says Baun was literally in every damn play last year. He was, bro. He was. Alex with the super chat. Thank you, Al. I appreciate it. He also says my camp hot take is Mondon beats out Trot Jr. if Dean and Jihaad not ready. Ooh. Interesting, Alex. I think I talked about this. I think I came out with a video basically detailing that Mondon may be able to push Trot. He may. You know, and that's not to say Trot Jr. is a bad player. It's not, you know, and also you guys, like, this ranking doesn't mean like guys are bad or whatever it is. It's just, you know, it's a crowded room. It's a crowded room. It's a good problem to have, right? The Eagles haven't been this talented at linebacker in a long time. So when I think about having Jihaad Campbell, Zack Baun, Nakobe Dean, Trot Jr., Smile Mondon, when I think about those guys, I'm like, damn, that's some good, like, that's a good situation to be in. But this goes back to my original point, right? Going into training camp, a lot of pressure on everybody. Focus on where your feet are. Focus on staying present in the moment, and understand that you're not competing with anybody else but yourself, because the coaches are watching. The coaches will put the best possible players on the field. They will put the best combination of linebackers on the field. So if I'm Trot Jr., I'm not paying Nakobe Dean no mind. I'm not paying Jihaad Campbell no mind. I'm not paying Smile Mondon any attention. I'm not. I'm focusing on my job. I'm focusing on my journey, because at the end of the day, the right decision will be made. And that's what I trust with Vic Fangio. That's what I trust with this defensive coaching staff. I trust that ultimately the right decision is going to be made. And I think, based off how everything happened last year, I think even the players trust that ultimately the right decision will be made. Thank you for the super chat, Alex. All right, let's see what we got here. KGK says Jeremiah Trotter Jr.'s IQ is off the charts. It is. Oh, my bad, Sweet Chin. You're right. My bad. My bad, Sweet Chin. You're so right about that. My bad, bro. You're right. You're right. My bad. That's my bad. My bad, Sweet Chin. You definitely were the first. I just checked it. But yeah, KGK, you're right, man. See, the Eagles got a bunch of smart players. Jihaad Campbell, smart player. Zack Baun, smart player. Nakobe Dean, smart. That's the thing, man. You got a lot of smart guys who are talented as well. These guys are going to help each other. They're going to help each other, man. Dashay James, what's going on, brother? He says, if those linebackers pan out, it'd be great. We could start using 4 4-4-4-1s or 3-4s. Yeah, bro. We can get creative. We can get creative with it. We can get creative. B. Lou, what's good? My man Brandon Lewis in the building. What's going on, my guy? Hope all is well. He's my man Tone talking. Like he gonna be. Let me read this, man. He said, my man Tone talking like he gonna be at training camp himself. You got to, man. You gotta speak with that conviction. You gotta speak with that. You gotta speak with that that gravitas. You feel me, B. Lou? Shout out to my man Brandon. I don't know, man. I get real passionate about this. I'm such a passionate guy. I love talking about this stuff with y'all, man. Sometimes I talk like I got a whistle around my neck. You feel me? Shout out to B. Lou. Tiffany gave her top 5. She said Zack Baun 1, Jihaad Campbell 2, Nakobe Dean 3, Trotter 4, Mondon 5. Humble Servant says, wow, it's so nice to have talented linebackers. Yo, who are you telling? Who are you telling? This was a conundrum. This was a conundrum several years ago. Like, we were really in a predicament. And also, you guys, we got to keep this in mind too. We got to keep this part in mind. I know Zack Baun ultimately panned out. I know he panned out. But we got to be honest. Even last year in 2024, the offseason, Howie was being cheap at linebacker. That's another thing we got to acknowledge, y'all. We got to be honest about that part. We got to say that out loud. We know the Zack Baun signing today is making Howie Roseman look like a genius. But when you really go back and look, even I had high expectations for Zack Baun. I thought he would be a good player for the Eagles, right? Still, Howie Roseman went cheap at linebacker. It just so happened to pan out. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it 1,000. Let's keep it a hundo. We ultimately went cheap, and it panned out. We found a diamond in the rough. That's what I'm saying, Tiff. Nobody would have knew he would have been this good. Like, I predicted he'll be productive. I predicted he would be a good signing. I predicted that. Nobody could have predicted he'd be this good. Nobody could have predicted Zack Baun, first team All-Pro, Pro Bowler. Nobody could have predicted that. Not even Howie. Alex says, I wanted Howie to go after Patrick Queen, but that was a pipe dream. Yo, it's so funny you said that, right? Because when we signed Saquon, remember, Patrick Queen was still available, I think he was still available. We signed Saquon Barkley, gave him that money. And I don't know if you guys remember, I wasn't the hypest when we signed Saquon. You know what I mean? And that's not to say I didn't think it was a good move. I wasn't the hypest. And the reason I wasn't the hypest when we signed Saquon is because my first instinct was, okay, you gotta invest in his defense. You got to invest in his defense somehow, some way. You got to invest in the linebacker. Patrick Queen is going to be available. You got to make a play for one of these linebackers. Who else was available? I think Drew Tranquil was available, right? I think Willie Gay was available as well. And I'm like, okay, the Saquon move, okay, that you add to your offense, but you had one of the worst defenses in 2023. Are you going to invest in the defense? So that was the only thing. That was my only, I don't want to call it a gripe, but that was my only point of concern. Because I'm like, hey, you're spending the money on a running back. Your defense is coming off of one of its worst seasons ever. But boy, was I wrong. Howie pulled all the right levers. He pushed all the right buttons, signed all the right people. Vic Fangio got these boys right, man. Got them right. So, yeah, before we get out of here, you guys, I just want to reiterate that, you got a lot of guys on this team that won't make the roster. You got a lot of guys that's in training camp, they will not make the roster. That's just the truth. They won't make the roster. And we got a lot of guys on this team that we absolutely need. Need with a capital E. We need them to pan out. We need Keely Ringo to be the player we need him to be. We need one of those safeties to step up. We need one of those free agent additions on the edge, on the D-line to step up, right? We need Aziz Ojulari or Uche to become a player. We need certain rookies to make an impact, right? So I think with winning a Super Bowl, it brings a new set of pressure to the players, to the coaches, to the front office. You feel what I'm saying? And I think training camp this year, I think the Eagles are going to come out shooting on all cylinders in training camp. I think Nick Sirianni, I think all these guys, Vic Fangio, Patullo, I think they're going to work these dudes. I really, really do, man. I really do. And before I get out of here, if I can give you any guys who I think is going to have a really productive training camp that'll transit to the regular season, I'm going to go Aziz Ojulari. I'm going to say Jihaad Campbell. You know? That's what I think, man. Keely Ringo, right? It's going to be interesting to see. But we're going to get out of here, you guys. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. You guys are truly, truly phenomenal. The Philadelphia Eagles are in a great position right now. All they have to do is just focus on today. Focus on where their feet are. And they will be just fine. They have all the pieces they need. And we know it because we've seen it happen. You know? And let's be honest. When you're a Super Bowl champion, when your favorite team wins the Super Bowl, you got to get, you walking with a little limp. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got a little extra dip on your chip. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? We'll see. We'll see, you guys. We will see. All right. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I have been your humble host, Tone DeShields II. You guys have been locked in on Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. And as always, it's fly Eagles fly, baby. You heard me?